Standoff is about a little girl who takes pictures of everything, and she witnesses multiple murder committed by a contract killer. She gets spotted, she flees, and finds shelter into a house of a war veteran. Now, of course, the contract killer follows her, breaks into that house, and, well, a standoff takes place in this very house. So much to the story. Basically everything revolves around that house, I mean in that house, and it's about how this war veteran, played by Thomas Jane, protects this little girl from this contract killer, which is portrayed by Lawrence Fishburne. There's not much to say about this movie, honestly. Both actors, even the little girl, they deliver quite well on what this screenplay has to offer. And this is where the problem lies. Like, it doesn't have much to offer. Not that it's poorly written, but like this movie tries to make some kind of a chess game out of this standoff between those two. There are things that actually help to build some tension, but it's not too much. It's not creative. I believe the screenplay was rooting for something more chessy, or it could have been something more chessy, like a chess game, you know, like trying to get into the mind of the other, like finding out what what your opponent is going to do and how you're going to react to it. And well, I think they could have done a lot more, but, well, it falls flat. Adam Alleca is the director, and it's his first feature film as well as his screenplay. Now, as I stated before, the screenplay could have offered much more of intensity. I mean, when it was written, like, he could have found some more ideas to do within that house, but basically all the standoff revolves around a staircase, and mostly almost everything happens there, but he could have played with much more things. So in the direction, in the end, I think he lost a great opportunity. I mean, if not his biggest opportunity to actually do a very well and good film. Because we all know what happens when you have movies in confined spaces, or that actually revolves around only one location. And this is basically what happens here. This is actually the perfect excuse to experiment with camera, with creativity, and do all sorts of nasty stuff with it. I mean, this is the perfect possibility to make a piece of art out of it, and it's completely missed. Like, even if the script isn't that well, it's this kind of script that I always say that actually proves how well a director does, because if you have so little to work with, then make something grand out of it. What can I say about the editing? Nothing. It's okay, I guess. I mean, it's just put things together. Nothing really special. It just serves its purpose, and it doesn't do more. It's not creative. It's bland. Don't get me wrong. I've seen the whole movie. It got me actually entertained enough so I could watch it to the end. I wouldn't watch it the second time. I think this is a movie that every beginner, if there are beginners out there, they could take exactly that script and try to make it their own. Try to make a movie that is better than this one. Because the potential is there, and it's completely unused potential. I'll give this movie a 5 out of 10 points. It's not a bad movie, but it is not a good movie either. I think the biggest flaw is the director's choices here, the way he handled this whole project. So if you're up for some other reviews, please comment, tell me. And this is actually one of those movies where I thought it was necessary to give a review, because especially for beginners, if they want to make movies or whatever, and if they write a script, a screenplay that offers confined space stories, everything in one location, these are movies that are very, very hard to make them good. You have a story that's compelling enough to tell within this confined space, then do it. But be creative, work with the camera, work with the lighting, and above all, one of the things that I see in many modern action movies, and which I would like to say is the same problem here, is the space, the geographical space, the actors within that space. You have to establish that space. Always show where the actors are respectively to some objects like furniture or rooms. How big are those rooms? When they go from one room to another, show this change. In this movie, it was completely left out. It's connectionless, and this is one of the biggest mistakes a director can make. Yeah, so please keep up for some other reviews.